I never thought I'd be the kind of person who did yoga. My best friend Megan had been trying for months to convince me to join her Saturday morning class. Every week, she'd say things like, "Jess, it's so relaxing," or "You'll love it once you try." But every week, I had an excuse. Too tired. Too busy. Not flexible. Then one Friday night over pizza she cornered me. "Jessica, you're coming tomorrow," she declared. "No excuses." I laughed nervously. "Meg, I can't even touch my toes." "Exactly why you need yoga," she said, grinning. And just like that, I was trapped. The next morning, I walked into Sunrise Yoga Studio, tucked between a coffee shop and a bookstore in downtown Austin. The room smelled faintly of lavender. Soft music played. People rolled out colorful mats and stretched gracefully, like they'd been born doing it. I, meanwhile, stood there clutching Megan's spare mat like it was a shield. "Relax," she whispered. "It's friendly here." That's when the instructor walked in. "Good morning, everyone," he said warmly. He was tall, calm, and had the kind of voice that made you want to take a deep breath. His name was Daniel. "We're here to stretch not just our bodies, but also our patience and kindness toward ourselves," he said. I raised an eyebrow. That sounded nice, but I doubted it applied to people like me, people who tripped over their own shoelaces. Still, when his eyes met mine, he smiled as if he knew I didn't belong but was glad I came anyway. The first pose was mountain pose. Easy enough. Just stand tall. I could do that. Then came downward dog. That was less successful. My arms shook, my hamstrings screamed, and I collapsed onto my mat with an ungraceful thud. Megan tried not to laugh. I glared. Daniel walked over, kneeling beside me. "First time?" he asked kindly. "Is it that obvious?" I muttered. He chuckled. "Everyone starts somewhere. Don't worry, yoga isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up." As the class went on, I wobbled, slipped, and groaned through poses with names like warrior and tree. At one point, during tree pose, my foot refused to stay on my calf. I toppled sideways into Megan, and we both collapsed in a heap of laughter. The rest of the class chuckled too, and instead of feeling embarrassed, I felt lighter. Daniel nodded approvingly. "See, even falling can be part of the practice." At the end of class, we lay in Savasana, flat on our backs, eyes closed. "Notice your breath," Daniel's voice guided. "Notice how even small stretches change the way you feel. Stretching is not just physical. It's about reaching for patience, for calm, for joy." For the first time in years, I felt completely still, present, and something inside me shifted. The next Saturday, Megan dragged me back. This time, I didn't resist. I still wasn't graceful. I still toppled over. But slowly, week after week, I improved. I could hold poses longer. My breath felt steadier. My mind felt clearer. And it wasn't just yoga. I found myself smiling more, sleeping better, and laughing at small things again. One Saturday after class, Megan leaned over. "See? Told you this would help." I grinned. "Okay, fine. You were right." Daniel often reminded us that yoga was practice for life. "Off the mat," he'd say, "we still need balance. We still need patience. We still need to stretch." I started noticing where that applied. When work got stressful, I breathed instead of snapping. When plans didn't go my way, I stretched my perspective instead of shutting down. It was subtle, but powerful. 1 month in, Daniel announced a special outdoor session at the park. We gathered under oak trees, the sun warm on our faces. Birds chirped as we flowed through poses. Children laughed in the distance. Halfway through, Daniel paused. "Stretching together is about community. Look around. These are people sharing the same journey." I glanced at Megan, at the strangers turned friends around me, and felt something unexpected. Belonging. By the end of that class, my arms and legs trembled with effort, but my heart was full. I wasn't just stretching my body. I was stretching out of my comfort zone. Stretching into laughter with Megan. Stretching into stillness I didn't know I needed. On the walk back, Megan nudged me. "So still think yoga isn't your thing?" I smiled, rolling up my mat. "It's more than yoga. It's life." When I first walked into that studio, I thought yoga was about bending like a pretzel. I thought Daniel, the calm instructor, was just another fitness coach. But I learned stretching wasn't about flexibility. It was about expanding my patience, my joy, my friendships. And thanks to Megan, and a very patient yoga teacher, I found myself stretching in ways that truly made me alive.